If you were born before 1960, stop what you are doing and give me the next 10 minutes, because there is a real chance the state pension landing in your account every 4 weeks is smaller than what you are actually owed. And here is the part I need you to sit with. No letter is coming. Nobody at the DWP is going to write to you or ring you to say we think we got your pension wrong. That is not how this system works. It calculates a number, it pays you that number, and from that moment on, whether the number is right is entirely your problem, not theirs. If it is too low, it stays too low, quietly, every single week for the rest of your life. And the money you were owed does not build up somewhere waiting for you. It simply never arrives, and no one ever mentions it. Today, I am going to show you the 2 most common reasons that number comes out wrong. How to check your own in a few minutes, and the exact steps to fix it. Stay to the end because the final step is the one almost nobody takes. And it is the only one that actually moves money out of the DWP system and into your account. No letter is coming, so we are going to go and get it ourselves. If you are not subscribed yet, do it now and turn on the bell. Pension rules and correction procedures change every year. And when they do, nobody from the government explains what it means for you. That is exactly what this channel is for. Subscribe and let us begin. Let me tell you about Brian, because his story is the whole point. Brian was a retired factory worker, and he had been collecting his state pension for 7 years. The same amount arrived every 4 weeks, and he never questioned it. He assumed the government knew what it was doing. Why wouldn't he? Then one afternoon, his daughter, who works in payroll, sat down with him and pulled up his national insurance record on gov.uk. She found the problem in about 5 minutes. 4 years in the late 1980s were showing as gaps, not full qualifying years, even though Brian had been working full-time throughout that entire period. He still had his old P60 in a folder in the spare bedroom. They sent the evidence to HMRC. The record was corrected, and his pension went up by over £27 a week. And because the error had been there since the day he claimed, he received a backdated lump sum covering the whole period. Brian did nothing wrong for 7 years, except trust the number. And in 7 years, no letter ever came. His daughter came. That was the difference. Here is the foundation underneath all of this. The DWP works out your state pension from the number of qualifying years on your national insurance record. You need about 35 qualifying years for the full new state pension, currently £241.30 a week. Every year you fall short of that reduces your weekly payment by roughly £6.89 permanently for the rest of your life. That is around £358 a year gone. And over a 20-year retirement, a single missing year is worth more than £7,000. Now here is where it goes wrong. Every one of those qualifying years depends on data your employers reported, often back in the 1970s and 80s, when records were submitted on paper and entered by hand. Employers made clerical errors. Companies went under before mistakes could be corrected. HMRC's system sometimes failed to match contributions when a woman changed her name after marriage, or when an employer typed a national insurance number with 1 digit transposed. Any one of those, and a year of your working life vanishes from your record, and your pension is permanently lower because of it. And this is the part that matters for our theme. The DWP will never write to tell you. It does not audit your record looking for your benefit. It calculates a number from whatever data it happens to hold, pays you that number, and considers the matter closed. If a year is missing, the letter explaining that is not in the post. It was never going to be. The only way it gets found is if someone goes looking. Now, the second reason, and this one is different, because this is not a clerical slip in some old employer's paperwork. This is something the DWP did to hundreds of thousands of women itself, and already knows it did. For women who reached state pension age before April 2016, many were legally entitled to have their pension increased based on their husband's national insurance record. The DWP's computers were supposed to apply that uplift automatically. In tens of thousands of cases, they simply did not. Between January 2021 and March 2025, the DWP identified almost 131,000 underpayments, totaling over £800 million. The average correction for married women has been around £5,500. For widows, it has been over 11,000. Now hold that against the theme of this whole video. The DWP knows this happened. It has the figures. It ran the exercise. And its chosen method for putting it right is to wait for the women affected to come forward and ask, rather than write to each of them and say, "We owe you money." The correction exercise runs until March 2027, and it is particularly looking at cases where the husband reached state pension age before the 17th of March 2008. If you are a woman who retired before 2016, that letter is not coming either. You have to make the call. Ring the pension service and ask directly whether an uplift based on your husband's record has ever been applied. So here is what to do, and this is the part to write down because these 3 steps are the entire point. This is how you go and get the letter the DWP will never send. Step 1. Go to gov.uk and log into your personal tax account and find your national insurance record. It lists every tax year back to when you started working, each marked as either a full qualifying year or not full. Go through it carefully. You are looking for any year marked not full where you know you were working and earning above the threshold, a gap where there should not be one. If you find one, you have found money taken out of your pension calculation without your knowledge. Step 2. Gather your proof. Old P60 forms are ideal. The year-end summaries showing your pay and the national insurance deducted. Old pay slips work too, as do bank statements showing regular salary from that employer. You do not need 40 years of paperwork. 2 or 3 years of documentation is enough to open a correction. Step 3, and this is the one almost nobody takes, contact HMRC's National Insurance Office and tell them which years you believe are wrong and why. Send copies, never originals. HMRC is required to investigate. If they confirm the error, they correct your record, the DWP recalculates, and if you are already claiming, the backdated amount arrives as a lump sum. Even if the employer has long since closed down, HMRC can often verify historic contributions from its own records. Whatever proof you have just makes it faster. One honest word about timing. Legally, there is no deadline on correcting a genuine error. HMRC can investigate however far back it goes. But the practical window closes a little more every year because the proof gets harder to find. An old P60 in a drawer is easy. The same P60 in a loft that has not been opened in 15 years is a different matter, and documents get lost, damaged, or thrown out in a house clearance. The Married Women's Correction exercise does have a hard end date of March 2027. But even for the NI errors with no legal deadline, the sooner you look, the more likely the evidence is still there. If Brian had waited another 5 years, those 1980s P60s might already have been gone. So the summary. Your state pension is calculated from your national insurance record, and that record can be wrong, especially for anyone who worked in the 70s, 80s and 90s. One missing year cost you around £6.89 a week, more than £7,000 across a retirement, from an error nobody told you about. Log into your personal tax account and check every year before you close this video. If a year looks wrong, find your P60 and call HMRC. And if you are a woman who retired before 2016, call the pension service and ask about the uplift. No letter is coming for any of this, So share this with one person born before 1960, and let's go and get it. See you in the next one.